In February of 1959, in the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, 9 experienced hikers embarked on an expedition that should have ended in triumph. Instead, it ended in horror. Their tent was later found slashed open from the inside, their belongings neatly arranged, as if nothing had been stolen or disturbed. Yet, the hikers themselves were scattered across the snow, barefoot, half-dressed, and brutally injured. Some were found under a cedar tree, their hands burned and skins stripped away. Others were buried in a ravine, with ribs crushed, skulls shattered, and one missing her tongue. What could have caused this? Why did they abandon their only shelter in temperatures as low as -30 degrees Celsius? This is the story of the Dyatlov Pass Incident, a mystery that, more than 60 years later, continues to haunt history. At the heart of the expedition was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student known for his leadership and skill. He was calm under pressure, meticulous, and respected by all. With him were 8 companions, each with their own strengths. Zenaida Kolmogorova, spirited, resilient, with a cheerful optimism. Lyudmila Dubinina, outspoken and strong-willed, determined to succeed. Rustam Slobodin, disciplined, athletic, with a background in boxing. Yuri Doroshenko, tall, strong, always ready to take on challenges. Alexander Kolovatov, serious, dependable, the quiet thinker. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, sharp-minded, quick-witted, and humorous. Yuri Krivonishenko, the joker of the group, known for lightening any mood. And finally, Semyon Zolotaryov, the oldest, a war veteran who joined at the last minute, whose presence would later fuel theories of espionage and secrets. They were young, full of energy, and had trained extensively for the rigors of tea. Their spirits high, they documented every step of the way in journals and photographs. On January 28th, one diary entry records, "We started late. At first, it was -8 degrees Celsius. Warm, cheerful. We joked, sang songs. Later, the snow deepened. The trail was harder, but spirits remained high. Along the way, they noticed markings left by the indigenous Mansi people, carvings on trees and signs of hunting trails. The Mansi believed the mountains were sacred, naming one peak Kholat Syakhl, the mountain of the dead. To the hikers, it was just folklore. To the Mansi, it was a warning." A group was well prepared. They built Labaz storage caches in the forest to preserve food and equipment for their return journey. They waxed skis, practiced navigation, and joked about hardships. Their photographs show them huddled together, laughing, sharing meals, and playing games despite the freezing conditions. This was more than a trek. It was a test of skill, endurance, and camaraderie. But on February 1st, their journey would take a turn from joy to tragedy. That day, the hikers attempted to cross the pass, but a violent snowstorm swept in, erasing the trail and forcing them off course. Instead of reaching the forest below, they pitched their tent on the slope of Kholat Syakhl, exposed, wind-battered, and dangerous. Why did Dyatlov choose this spot? Some say it was a training exercise. Others argue it was an error. Whatever the reason, it became their final campsite. In the night, something happened, something powerful enough to drive 9 skilled hikers from the safety of their tent, leaving behind coats, boots, and all protection against the Siberian cold. When the group failed to return, families grew worried. Search parties were dispatched. On February 26th, rescuers stumbled upon the tent. It was half buried in snow. The canvas had been slashed open from the inside. Boots, coats, and food were left behind as if the hikers had been interrupted mid-meal. Outside the tent, footprints led away, some barefoot, some in socks, some wearing only a single shoe. The trail led down toward the forest. The rescuers followed, and soon made a chilling discovery. At the edge of the forest, beneath a cedar tree, two bodies lay side by side. They belonged to Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko. They wore little clothing. Their hands were burned, suggesting they had tried to build or maintain a fire. Branches high up in the cedar were broken, as if someone had climbed it in desperation, either to look for the tent or to escape something. One detail was especially haunting. Krivonishenko had torn flesh inside his own mouth, as if he had bitten his hand, desperately trying to stay conscious or warm. Not far from the cedar tree, 3 more bodies were found. Igor Dyatlov, the leader, was lying as if crawling toward the tent. Zinaida lay face down in the snow. Rustam Slobodin had a fractured skull. It would take 2 more months to find the final 4 hikers. Their bodies were buried beneath deep snow in a ravine. These hikers had suffered catastrophic injuries. Nikolai Thibeaux-Bringal's skull was smashed. Ludmila Dubanina had broken ribs and was missing her tongue. Semyon Zolotaryov's chest was crushed, with massive internal hemorrhaging. Yet, no external wounds matched the violence of their injuries. It was as if a powerful, invisible force had struck them. Autopsy reports only deepened the mystery. The first 2 hikers had clearly died from hypothermia, but others had suffered blunt force trauma comparable to a car crash. Strangely, radiation was found on some of their clothes, and several accounts surfaced of glowing orbs in the sky on the night of the tragedy. But the investigation itself was rushed, flawed, and incomplete. Signatures were missing, documents mishandled, and official reports ended abruptly, declaring the cause of death to be a compelling natural force. Nothing more. The investigation lasted only 3 months. Important details were overlooked or ignored. Autopsies were inconsistent. Some personal belongings vanished from official records. Theories began to spread. Some whispered that the group had stumbled upon secret military tests. Others pointed to uranium exploration in the region, hinting at accidental exposure. But there was no clear evidence, only fragments, contradictions, and mystery. Over the decades, countless theories emerged. Some blame an avalanche, though the slope was shallow and no debris was found. Others insist on military involvement, parachute mines, or secret weapons tests. Stranger theories speak of aliens, citing the glowing orbs in the sky. And then there is infrasound, a low-frequency wind phenomenon said to induce panic and hallucinations. Yet modern analysis suggests a more tragic truth: survival decisions under unimaginable stress. Clothes removed, not from madness, but from the dying giving their garments to the living. Injuries caused not by the supernatural, but by a fall into the ravine. Still, the mystery lingers, feeding speculation even today. The Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. 9 young hikers went into the snow and never returned. Their diaries and photographs captured joy, laughter, and life, moments frozen in time before disaster struck. The Ural Mountains still hold their secret. Perhaps the truth is buried forever beneath the snow, or perhaps it waits to be uncovered on the Mountain of the Dead.